Welcome to AWOI Gaming. I'm Perry, and today we will be looking at Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Now, if you played the prior games in the Uncharted series, you have a knack of knowing what Naughty Dog goes for. And what they go for is your Indiana Jones movie, action, puzzle solving kind of game. And The Lost Legacy does not miss a beat with that. But this time, you're not playing with the icon of the series and Nathan Drake. You're playing as his, what you would say, his triangle affair, love partner, and Chloe Fraser. Now, this was neat because you got to play with someone outside of Nathan Drake. And with that being said, is like it allowed lore to come into the series, meaning that you get to explore other characters, get to learn their backstory, get to understand what Chloe's like instead of rather what you know about Nathan Drake. You see that in his four games. And for this chunk of the series just to be about Chloe, it was interesting because you really didn't know who she was. Granted, yes, you meet her in Uncharted 2, but to see her have an actual backstory was awesome to see. And you don't see that in a lot of video games where they off one character and have them have their own backstory, which was really, really cool. Now, what I'm about to say about the gameplay is that it really is just Uncharted 4. There's no switch in style. And I mean that by how you might go through a cutscene and something tragic happens, and you also had to like gun your way through facing these bad guys the whole time. That doesn't change, but I understand that's what Naughty Dog goes for, but you would think they would learn from that and make it something different. You would really be playing the multiplayer from Uncharted 4. Now, granted, this game was supposed to be DLC. Once you take it away from that and make it to its own game, it needs to be fresh. It needs to be newer. It can't reflect off what the past games were. I know you can say they're just skins and they can just go like, well, we don't want to take that big a risk. But if you're trying to introduce a new fan base that's never liked this series or has never gave the series a chance or never had the chance to play the game, you would think that you would not want them to have the same effect, like Chloe had the same effects as Nathan Drake. Now, granted, Chloe is a unique individual that has an amazing backstory, and that's shown throughout the whole game. You learn about her so much, and it was just great. But her actual gameplay, when it came to, let's say, shooting and, let's say, gunplay, it felt so much like Nathan Drake throughout the whole entire experience. Now, also, you have moments of where the game's supposed to be open world. Granted, yes, it's open world and expect you get to treasure hunt and see the area around and do puzzles, which is part of the Indiana Jones experience. But it doesn't feel really open world when the map isn't really that big. And also the fact that you feel limited. Like, you can collect all the treasures and get that platinum trophy if you want to, but there comes to a point where you want to advance the story, and advancing the story is just happens out of nowhere. I personally was playing the game and just stumbled across the main story when I didn't want to. But seeing how I was there, I said, fuck it, let's go ahead and advance it. Now, also, it's cutscenes and it's movie draw appearance that is part of the series is really, really great. There's moments where it made me want to keep playing and like understand what the hell was going on, and also why Chloe and Nadine were able to create such a strong partnership. Because at the beginning of the game, you're just not for sure what's going on. It felt really slow at first, but then you thought it was going to pick up. And the game never actually picks up until maybe the last half. And at that point, you don't feel like it can get any better. Now, the problem with this game or this series is that people look at it as a tech demo. And I can see where they're coming from because of the fact that you're just walking down this corridor or you're just waiting for that cutscene to happen, because that's what Naughty Dog wants. They want you to watch a movie. Now, I've had jokes of people saying like, well, how was the movie? Well, it was a good game if that's what you mean, but for you say, how was the movie? That's how all the Uncharted series comes off. And The Lost Legacy is no different. There were some points where I felt like a cutscene was too long, and it shouldn't have been too long. I wanted to play more of the game. I wanted to be able to grab the RPG and shoot down shit. I wanted to be able to gun down someone or be really stealthy and just be able to go through an area. But I'll go ahead and tell you guys straight up, I don't play stealthy in a game like Uncharted. I just go straight through and say, fuck it. I don't have time for this shit. Let's just go ahead and ace it. The game is about being, getting through an area a certain way, and my way is shooting up the place. It just has always been, just shoot this person right here with your silencer, shoot that person with your silencer, and then after that, just pull out your machine gun and blow up the whole place. Now, what is also bad is that the multiplayer is so Uncharted 4. People have already been playing Uncharted 4, so why would I go back and play it on The Lost Legacy? It's just felt like, okay, well, seeing how you're playing The Lost Legacy, you can go ahead and just pop in the multiplayer. No, if that was the case, they should have spent more time giving me more gameplay to play. Granted, you can sit there and say that it's not that long, but 8 hours goes by fast, and for that $40 frame that they're giving it to us for, you would think it would be a little more. For $40, you would think that you would get more. I didn't even rush through the game. I was just playing it, and it just stopped. I was like, okay, I guess that's the end of this game. And it really made me go like, did I really get cheated out of my money, or did I really enjoy it? I had to come to the conclusion that I enjoy the game, but it needed to be more. And I'm not trying to hate on it, but any company that does something like this, they rag us out of our money. I mean, in ways that they could have made this longer is by maybe even allowing us to play as Nadine. Granted, she is just a side partner to Chloe in this, but you can take a minute for us to play as the secondary character. We've seen it in The Last of Us, where we're able to play as Ellie for a short bit of time, or even games like The Witcher, where you play as Cirilla and Geralt of Rivia in multiple parts of the game. But granted, they probably felt like, well, this is great content, so we should be able to allow our gamers to play this. But I just feel like, seeing how we have two characters, why not go ahead and allow us to play as them? Or also, to go deeper into Chloe's backstory, and like maybe going ahead and showing us like what she looked like as a kid. because we got to see that in Nathan Drake. But then again, that's the argument that is nothing but Nathan Drake just reskinned as a woman. And that's just clearly there if you were to make that argument, because it's just the same thing. If they really want to make Chloe and Nadine different, don't make them like Nathan Drake. Make them Chloe and Nadine. And the way you do that is by giving them different skill sets to not appear like Nathan Drake or any of the past characters. I understand that they are part of this series, but if they are going to be the face of the Uncharted series from here on out, it is just best for us to not associate with them with the past 4 games that you played in the Uncharted series. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't go back to a callback, but this is the first time where I didn't think I ever said I wish Nathan Drake was here. I love Nathan Drake. He's one of my favorite icons in PlayStation, but for them to be able to continue the series without him, they just need to step away from what they did with him and make Chloe and Nadine just their own characters. Granted, it's going to have the Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider feel to it, but let's make them their own characters instead of being red shirt characters throughout this entire gameplay and game.
Now, final verdict. Let's see how Uncharted The Lost Legacy can actually make an influence on life, or just in someone as an individual. A movie, game, a tech demo. How can this? Oh, let's see. The way it can actually, influence somebody is by the theme of female partnership. Now, granted, it's not seen at first in the game, but you can see the power of how women can come together and trust one another. It's like girl power. You don't see that a lot in Nathan's side because he's more of a loner. But when you see Chloe and Nadine, they kind of come together first for money. But then when they start learning more about each other, they seem to bond. They click. They seem to enjoy being around each other more than at the beginning of the game. It was really cool to see that. But also, the game seems to have an act of showing the way movies should be done. Granted, the people at Naughty Dog are probably inspired by like Terminator or The One or any other action type movie, or even The Matrix, for example. They have not to continue to do that throughout their whole series. And if you're going to be a director like, let's say, Michael Bay, who uses a lot of effects, it's cool. You get to see all the explosions and stuff go bang and boom, and you're like, oh hell yeah, let me do that in my shit. You see that a lot throughout the whole game, and it can be really influential as a creative mindset. Even me playing it was like, wow, I can just imagine what they were trying to go for here. A tunnel's coming. Okay, we want them to do this. And it was just granted there. They just took the opportunity. It was really cool to see. Now, as my knacks have gone throughout this whole review, the game was good. It's not great. It can influence you in a sense of understanding relationships with one another. It can show you how to be creative. It can show you how to want to watch a really good movie. And with that, my final verdict for this game is a 7 out of 10. I recommend everyone to play it. It has really great lore, but it's only a 7 out of 10. You have to, let's just say you have to play the other games to understand what everyone was thrilled about. But seeing how the game is for $40, I would honestly say wait for it to go down to 30. Because if it's 30, then it's worthy. 40 is like, then you got to be a fanboy or you really like the series. Granted, it has a lot of influences in the sense of understanding relationships, like I said. And I hope you enjoyed this review. You can follow me at Agent Platypus 23, and we'll see you again with another AWOI gaming review. Thanks, guys.